We back, we back, we back.
We are here. What do you call it? Turn up Thursday. So we're here to turn
Turn
up.
it up. You know what I'm saying? It's getting ready for the weekend. We'll start the weekend right with Thursday night turn up. Yep, yep, yep. This is where we at
I
with it.
love, I love all of that. Welcome everyone. Welcome to those who will be joining us live. Welcome to those who will watch us later in the replay. Make sure you come in. You please like and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. This week, I think is going to be a really, really insightful um, show. So I'm really looking forward to that. But before we get into that, Twins, how was your week then?
The week is good. Work has been all is well. No complaints at all. I'm ready for tomorrow. It'll be Friday and ready for the weekend. A little rest. So all's good. How about you?
Just rest plan before we get to me. No, 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 nothing else but rest.
This is
I'm
what
all in your business.
Hey, listen, the weather's been nice. I've been outside, been playing basketball, working out, all this, so no complaints. You still got snow up there? You still got snow?
And there's still snow on the ground.
Okay.
That snow hasn't come, but it's definitely on the ground. If I were to open my back door to see my backyard, it's on the ground. So yeah, there's no basketball. We had some nicer weather on Tuesday and hoping for some nicer weather this weekend, but we won't get into nice weather probably until April, May. I'm going to Miami next month, so I can take a bit of a break. So like I can't. So anywho, yeah, there's no outsiding for me. However, my week has been busy. Life, we're adults. We have to work.
Yeah.
One day I won't have to. Hallelujah and praise God. But until I get there, I'm working, working, working. Before I get into anything, though, please remember April 1st will be the launch of my next six-book series called Love Rules. I'm excited to share this book with you. If
Yay.
you, I am. Listen, this is like every time I write, it's like birthing a child. It's insight into my innermost thoughts. I'm really excited. It's being beta read right now. I'm going to get all the reviews back this weekend. I'm going to edit it, make sure it's good. I'll release the book cover that I'll be going with to our YouTube family. But I am super excited. And I also Googled myself the other day and found out I was a public figure. I'm
Mm,
so proud of me.
Look at you.
Yes, ma'am.
Congratulations.
Just saying.
Congratulations for all the good things that's happening, that's rolling, Miami trip, vacation. You just got back from what, Mexico?
I did. I was in Tulum.
The book dropping on April 1st. You know what I'm saying? Look
That's
at you.
so
You did that.
excited.
I'm gonna pop my collar for
Thank
you. You know what
you. Right? I'm so excited, and I want to encourage everybody. If you have a goal, a dream, a passion, like go for it. I'm not going to pretend I'm not tired. I wake up in the morning. I write for an hour. Sometimes at night before I go to bed, I'm writing for another hour or two. In between that, I have a full time job. I have this show. I have another show. I do all of the creative content for this show and the other show. Like I am not going to pretend I'm not tired, but when I see the hard work come together, and even if I remember my ex said this, and it will always stick with me. He says, "Babe, if you even sell 10 books, you're a success." And I remember being offended when he first said it, and he was like, "Do you know how many people don't even one write a book, much
Facts.
less get other people to buy their book?" And I remember just being like, "You're so right." Because I was like, "Oh my God, I need to sell all these books." He's like, "If you sell even just 10 books," and I've been blessed to say that I am still receiving residuals from books that I published 5 years ago. And so I'm super excited. And so I encourage everyone, if you've got a passion, a goal, a dream, if you'd like to write a book and you'd like to chat with me about my experience, I'm happy to do so. You can email me fyf the show at gmail.com and we'll set up a call because I encourage everybody to go after their goals and their dreams. So that's
Amen.
my inspirational moment.
Amen. Amen.
There
Amen.
we go. There we go. So tonight's show, fuck around and find out. That's kind of the title of the show.
Mm,
Um, Before the I do's, Twins and I are going to talk about some things that you need to be looking at. We watched some interesting clips this week, and we're gonna have a real conversation about choices and decisions that we make that really can ruin your life. The person you choose to marry, man or woman, is the one biggest investment that you make,
Mm,
right? Because we don't choose our children.
no,
Women, we choose to have children, but we
right.
don't choose our children. But we sure do choose our spouses, and that person can make or break. Twins made a point a few weeks ago about generational wealth and all of those things. So there's some clips that Twins and I watched. I meshed them together because there's just a lot of drama and we want to avoid all that. But I meshed two clips together to show you what can happen when you choose the wrong spouse. And once the clip is over, what I want to talk about is how could the people in the video have avoided getting to where they are, and then after that, two, really the conversations that you need to be having and the things that you need to be looking at when you are choosing a spouse. And if Jeff is on, I would love for Jeff to come on. Jeff is one of our wonderful subscribers who is married. He's done this a second time, and love to hear his thoughts about this. But without further ado, I'm going to play this clip. Here you
I
go.
spent $10,000 off my credit card.
Yeah,
What you mean, yeah?
I had to pay my mama rent. She was backed up like 5 months. I just paid it off.
But that's not my problem. And I only have a $10K balance on my credit card, so you took all the money off my credit card.
I'm gonna put it back. Simple.
Like your mother is not my responsibility.
I understand. She my responsibility.
Okay, so you should have used your money.
Your money is my money. My
No,
money is your money.
no. That credit card has my
The
name.
way you're gonna get the money deposit, I do it first thing in the morning. Like, what's the problem? What's the issue?
I'm gonna report fraud, and your mother's just gonna have to get evicted.
She gonna get evicted. It's
It
paid.
don't matter. I'm gonna report fraud because you was never supposed to use my credit card.
But I'm putting the money back.
It doesn't matter.
My wife feel like it's a good idea to put her child father on child support when we don't need the money. What you need the money
stuff
for?
that I'm trying to do. Like, I'm trying to, like, go on a vacation and stuff like that. Like, it's stuff that I need. So, like, he needs to pay me something. Give me something.
You do know that child support is not for you, right?
Technically, it is. It is.
Please explain to me how child support is for
I
you.
need the money to make sure I'm good and make sure my baby good.
Okay, but we don't need the money. Your baby's good. I take care of you and your kids.
Okay? But I still want his money. And I need to make sure that my hair and everything stay done. Simple. So now what? You gonna keep defending him?
It ain't that I'm defending
Keep
you.
on. You gonna be next.
Woo! Those some hot take clips right there. I tell you.
And hey, Monica, welcome back, girl, because we need you. I cannot be the only woman talking tonight. Monica, feel free to click on the link and come join the conversation. Twins, I'm going to start with you. Go ahead. What are your thoughts about that clip?
Oh man, so just two clips. So we're gonna talk about both of them, right? Definitely. But the first one, where, of course, I guess they're married, right? I believe they're married, right? Or they're serious.
They're married. No, they're married.
Okay, all right. So at first I listened to him like, dang, why spent all that money? And at first I'm like, okay, I mean, I could see where she's upset because there was lack of communication, right? He didn't say, hey, babe, I'm going to do X, Y, Z for mom. And then, whatever. And then as a conversation going on, he made it very clear. I said, well, your money is my money. I mean, my money is your money is my money. She's like, no, it's not. My name is on that card. That's the number one flag right there. First off, hold up. So you know what I'm saying? That's number one. If y'all missed it, that's the first warning right there. But then he wouldn't say, but like, well, I'm going to give you the money. I'll deposit the money tomorrow.
The next day.
The next day. And the fact that she went off and then talking about she's going to report fraud. He said, why would you even do that? Because you didn't, that's my name's on the card. And I don't know, she was just in her emotions at that time and she didn't really think about it logically because, yes, he did make a big purchase, right? But the fact that he made that big purchase and then he's gonna give her the money the next day or next morning to pay it off, because clearly he had the money. He just he didn't have it on the card to give. So he figured I use my woman's card. I know she has a $10K limit, right? And I'm giving money right back to her. And if you know basic finances and education on that stuff, the fact that you paid it off right away is going to bump your credit score up.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, me and you had this conversation, like the bank's gonna love that. So, oh, she spent 10K and then paid off the next day. Oh, shit, let's give her
10 more. Let's give her 10 more.
Yeah, please spend this money, please. Thank you. We want more of your money, please. So, yeah.
I'm just gonna jump in here. You know what the red flag for me was? I have to be honest. I'm a very family oriented person. And when she said, "Your mama is not my problem," yes, she is. That is your mother-in-law. That is the woman who gave birth to your husband. And listen, you're not always going to like your family, but you show up for them. Understand that. And when you said "I do" to that man and you took his ring and moved into the house he likely pays for, because if my man is able to give you $10,000 to more to put on a credit card, I know he's paying the mortgage in that house. You ain't going 50-50, girl. So the fact that you were okay, one, with the idea of his mother being evicted. Now, granted, whatever you might feel about his mother's irresponsibility about paying bills, let's put that aside. That is still his mother. And we don't know what's going on with his mama, and he feels that is his responsibility. You may or may not agree with that, but it is also your responsibility because that is your mother-in-law. Then she turned around and said, then I'm going to report fraud and have your mother out on the street.
Yeah, that was crazy.
So I'm going to leave that one there because we're going to come back to that part when we talk about stuff you need to be looking at before you say "I do." Now go on to the next one, twins. What do you think about that?
Whew, man, now the second one was a lot. Now I know we chopped the video a little bit, but the guy was with this lady who was talking, right? And clearly she already had another relationship prior to them two, right? And so did the guy was in a relationship as well prior to her as well. So they both coming from relationships where it didn't work out so good, right? Whatever. Now the guy who's talking to his woman, he is currently on child support, right? And I guess he's going through it with his ex, whatever it may be, right? But at the same time, him being on child support, he's still able to provide for her because now they're married, right? He's able to provide for her and her child, which is his stepchild, but he provide for them. And she wants to put her daughter's father on child support. And as a guy who's on child support, he understands the struggle of being on child support and paying your bills and XYZ, and he know how the legal system work and how tough it is. So it's not the fact that he's trying to defend her ex. It's like, why do you want to put him on child support? I'm already providing for my ex and ours, and we're good. Well, I need my hair done. I need my nails done. Well, child support is not for that. It's for
not for that.
And the fact that she said that out of her mouth, where I could see she was like, "Oh, well, my daughter needs this and that." No, she's like, "No, I need this. I need that." There's some real flags there. Like, bro, you might want to get out now. You might want to kind of exit or work out something because. And then she ended the conversation about, "Well, you keep it up, you're gonna be next." Wow. Now,
first of all,
I know we're a little older, me and you, but the young what the young folks say now? Crash out. Yeah, I want. I'm not quite sure if that's something that he might do in a second, but I'll stop for a second. Let you go on that one.
No, first of all, the fact that she said technically, how he ended up marrying a woman who can't even pronounce the word technically, was a red flag within itself. Let me just say, and I'm actually going to the second part because we just need to get there. There is no way those selfish characteristic traits that were displayed in these videos were not displayed prior to these men proposing. I know that on the show the men have said, and I'm going to agree with you. We sometimes send our representative, but I don't think you can send your representative unless you got married in the blink of an eye. I don't think that type of selfishness, narcissism, lack of awareness, lack of financial acumen, like lack of financial knowledge, all of the things that were displayed in those two videos. I don't think those things were that hidden. So I say to men, because men propose, right? And I'll talk to the women later. I say to men, what conversations are you having with the women you choose to marry prior to even considering whether or not they're going to bring the value to your life that you need, unless you just don't need value? Because based on those two conversations, I'm not sure what is valuable to either one of those men about those women. One says she's going to call the police on her own husband to report fraud on a credit card so that her mother-in-law can be homeless on the street. The other is threatening her husband, who is taking care of her child, not his, that the same thing she's about to do to her child's father, she can turn around and do to him. So she's basically saying, fuck around and find out. You want to defend him? Let me divorce you and put you on child support for your stepchild, which he could actually end up paying child support for. Where did they go wrong? Twins, as a man, where do you think those men went wrong in choosing those wives?
Oh man. I mean, with those two scenarios, as you stated, that there was something prior to them marrying those women that they saw that, right? Based on the fact that there's some underlying issue going on with the first video with the guy and his mom. Like there's some, I don't know if they don't get along, but there was something there that was probably brewing before he got married to her about the mom.
Yeah.
Definitely something was there, and I don't know. Like I don't know if it's the first time it happened. I don't know what not, because there's not enough information there. But
Yeah.
the fact that she had no regards of his mother on any level is kind of a little bit disheartening. Like, so
His mama.
I don't know if I know some people have drama with their in-laws, right? Some do, right? It happens, whatever. But at the end of the day, like you just said earlier, that's still his mom, right? And clearly the guy makes good money just to throw away $10K. Because even though, he had $10K just to get to his mom, right? Just like that. I don't know too many people got $10K just to throw away to their mom on top of their current lifestyle they have already. But clearly he wasn't hurting for money. He just didn't have the money to put on her card, or had a card with that amount, whatever. Or maybe he just didn't have enough time and he wanted to take care of it right away. Now, the fact that clearly he knew something was wrong because he recorded the video in the first place. That's another red flag. So so clearly he knew that there was some issues with her in the first place. No, actually, I'm sorry. Let me go back. No.
She was recording that one.
Recording.
The first or she was recording.
Yeah. I gotta go back in this mental play in my head. She recorded the video, so I don't know. She's on one, but clearly, yes, there was some flags there that he might have missed, and I'm sure it has something to do with finances and in-laws. You know what I'm saying? Like those two things should have been like the first before y'all even got married. Those two things should have been a conversation that was had prior to getting to the point where they at. And based on her reaction, she just said, "Oh no, you can't never do nothing for you. You with me, it's only me." I wouldn't marry her, right? If I got an ultimatum saying that, when you marry me, I'm number one and your mom is number 10. Like our money staying our house. You can't help no one else, because that's the energy she gave out.
Yep.
I don't care that she's not your responsibility. So I'll stop there. But that's what I think. Lack of communication there. Talking about families, talking about finances, which is two important things you should do before you even get married. I'm not saying people get married and want to be able to take care of their family, because that's true. You should keep your money in the house. But life happens, situation happens. But if I need to help my brother, my mom out, and I have the money, there shouldn't be an issue there. And if there is an issue, then there's an issue there. But I'll stop for now.
So I'm gonna say one of the first things, and this is advice one from the Fuck Your Feelings crew. Before you get married, align on values. That is the first part. Do you align on value? You have to determine what are the most important values you have in your life. So if you are family oriented and they are not, so if there's a scenario, you need to sit down and you say, listen, our parents are getting older. I don't want to put my mom in a home. I don't want to put my dad in a home. I don't want to put my parents in a home. If the time comes, I'd like for them to move in, right? We're creating a life. There'll be a space for them. We can get a nurse to take care of them, but I want to make sure that they're not in a home. If your partner's immediate reaction is like, hell nah, let them go in a home, values are not aligned. If finances come up and they're talking about separate accounts and my money is my money and your money is my money and all those things, values are not aligned. Twins.
I agree. Now I'm gonna speak from experience, because I'm divorced now, but I was married for 14 years. But my mother-in-law, my wife's mom, of course, lived with us for my son is now 11, so about 10 years, right?
Wow.
So, but we had conversations prior to that, you know what I'm saying, and it wasn't an issue. Like, hey, my mom. We had a conversation like, what are your thoughts about mom staying with us? I'm like, that's perfect, because if I'm working, you're not here by yourself with two kids. And we talked to that, and that was cool, right? Not a problem. So yeah, the conversation has to be there. And I feel in that first video, that conversation was never had.
That's the thing about it, and we talked about this over and over and over and over and over and over again on this show about the importance of communication. And I get it, people fall in love and all of that happens, and people think there's a fairy tale. Marriage is not about having a fairy tale, right? Marriage is two people coming together to create a better life as a union that they could have created as individuals. I know it doesn't sound romantic, and that's okay. Okay, because so many of us are caught up in the romance. There was nothing romantic about what we just saw in those clips. Nothing. There was nothing even remotely likable about either one of the women in those clips. Twins.
Yeah, one thing I will say, in the defense for the first video is that, when it comes to what to expect in marriage, there is no type of training. There's no type of education. There's no type of just like some things you just don't know until you go through it.
Yep.
So it's a possibility that, or maybe the guy who's speaking, maybe he didn't. Clearly, I'll say this based on the conversation. Clearly, his mom is single, so she's not married. Either the husband passed away or they split up, but right now she's a single woman by herself and she's struggling because she needed her son to help pay her bills, right? So clearly, I'm saying that he didn't see what it looks like for a healthy relationship and what to expect in a relationship. Because he's still, I'm not calling him mama's boy because I don't know the full situation, the full story and everything. But what I'm saying is that if she had a husband, she wouldn't have to call on her son to help pay her bill for $10K. And my thing is, how are you $10K in debt too? That's another problem. But that's a whole nother
on your rent. That is a whole nother conversation, and that's
Yeah,
not just on bills. That was your rent, your place you lay your head.
yeah. So you know what I'm saying. So that's a whole nother. I'm not. You know what I'm saying. All I'm saying that we can go down the rabbit hole on that one, but I'm saying that there's so many levels to this. But I'm trying to say that the son didn't. The guy now does not know what to expect in a relationship, and he think, oh, it's okay, I can pay mom's bill. So clearly, on both sides, there was lack of communication because I could see her point. Just a point like, hey man, every time something happens in your mom's house, you can't be run over every 2 minutes every time. I'm not saying it happens every time, but sometimes it could be abused, right? I'm playing devil advocate right now. But
No, I love that viewpoint.
yeah, but at the same time, is that most men, I even count myself, we don't know what to expect or how things are supposed to go on in marriage. And I think that's why it's so important to have healthy relationship. That's why we black men and black women, we should be together so we can teach and show the younger generation what to expect, because more likely he doesn't have a good brotherhood or someone he can relate to and have these conversations, or maybe like through church or something. Like there has to be something lined up to what could happen in a relationship and what to expect. And clearly that conversation was missed. And now you see it's something that's turned to a bigger issue now, right? And I'll stop right there.
So that's going to lead me into advice number 2. If you're considering marriage and you have not been around marriage or not seen a healthy marriage, I think you can get marriage mentors. And this is like the same way we get mentors in our career, right? You can get a marriage mentor, and you choose people who you feel have the skill sets to be able to navigate their marriage. No marriage is perfect, but the issue also is if you are surrounded by no married people at all, you need to also pause and consider, how do I know, to Twins' point, how to model a husband, how to model a wife, and whether that's going to church, whether, I don't know where you go, but I would suggest you get a marriage mentor. I don't care if you have to watch videos, I don't care if you have to go to seminars, whatever you need to do, because again, marriage is not just a wedding and the I do. There's everything that comes once everybody is gone. And make sure, again, you have people who are going to support you to go through this. Because if that woman had another woman, another wife to call and say, hey, I'm a little pissed at my husband because he did this, her marriage mentor probably could have talked her through to the point where she didn't come on Beyonce and Blue Ivy's internet looking all ghetto. Now, to your other point, which I'm going to go into advice number 3, have conversations about limits and limitations in your prospective marriage. So I shared last week that one of the things that I've talked to the gentleman, we're not even thinking about marriage right now. We're just in the dating phase. But we talked about, what if we got into a relationship, if we were to get married, some of the things that we would institute in that relationship, like a spending limit. We cannot spend money over a certain amount without having a discussion with that person. For some people, that might sound controlling, but in some ways, you have to control the parameters of your relationship. What the amount that we chose was $999.99. Okay? Once there's a 1 in front of that number, we have to sit down and have a conversation about that spend. And if our salary increases and you know what, that 1 could be a 2, then we have that conversation at that point. But it is a mutual discussion, and we figure it out. We're not just going to go and spend $10,000 and then it's a shock to the system that, like, oh, on my God, $10,000 just came out of our account. What the hell happened? You're calling the bank thinking it is fraud. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, these are conversations because you have to have perimeters around relationships. Like, this might not be a fun conversation for people, but I'm telling you, like, a lot of you are going into marriage thinking it's like a good time, and it's just a good time, and and it can be the most beautiful thing. Twins and I will tell you, marriage can be wonderful and amazing, but marriage still needs rules. Their marriages clearly had no rules. Twins.
totally agree. And yes, advice 4, I guess. You said 3, advice 4?
Yes, yeah, I'm advice 4.
Advice 4. One thing I will say on the first video for sure, where the guy dropped the ball, is that the fact that he did not have the conversation about the spending his girl's money. Like, I mean, so regardless if you have the money or not, right? That should have been a conversation you had before even swiping. Because if I say this, if he would have had that conversation and she's like, oh hell no, do use my card, no problem. Don't worry about it. I'll go to Walmart, load the money on the card, and I'll pay, and then that's it, right? But because he didn't have a conversation, it comes off like, well, I'll do what I want. I mean, I got the money, it doesn't matter. So I can see, I play double advocate. I can see how she felt about, because you didn't say nothing to me. You're just gonna spend the money. Maybe I had something pending about to go through, or maybe she went shopping or doing something and her card wasn't working, and now she embarrassed, not knowing what's going on. And then you didn't tell me that you was gonna do that. So I can see on both sides. Like, so once again, advice number 4: please have those conversations before you make a big purchase, regardless if you have the money or you don't have the money. It just out of respect, out of courtesy. Hey, babe, there's a situation going on. Can I use your card? No, or yeah, or she may ask the reason why, and then whatever that may be, you know how to move differently. Because now the relationship could be turned rocky at this point now. Because if she really pick up the phone and call her bank and call fraud, he can get in trouble possibly now, especially if his name's not on the card, right? And then they're going to pull that money out the mom's whatever, and that can maybe jam her up. And then the money he's getting back to her, well, he probably won't give her the money now because she told him that she's going to fraud. So you see how the rebel hole goes now when you don't have that communication, which we talked about 2 seasons ago. Communication is very important. So yes, he get a great F for not having that conversation about what he's about to do. I believe he had good intentions, but the fact that he didn't have that conversation with his woman first, that is a problem. And your partnership, once again, it's marriage. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, when you're in a marriage, it's a partnership. Regardless, you think the CEO can go out there and spend another $100 million on a new building without talking to the CFO, the vice president? No, they got to sit down, have a meeting, and we all have a discussion about, hey, here's what I like to do, and everybody put the input in. It's the same thing on the marriage. You just can't go out there and spend money and like, oh yeah, I got it, I'll give you tomorrow. No, it don't work like that. But I'll land my plane.
And Mr. I saw your comment, and just for you, because we do want you to comment, I'm going to play this video again. It's like a minute and a half. So Mr. so you can catch up because you were late today. I'm going to replay this video so you can join the conversation. Here we
spent
go.
$10,000 off my credit card?
Yeah.
What you mean, yeah?
I had to pay my mama rent. She was backed up like 5 months. I just paid it off.
But that's not my problem. And I only have a $10K balance on my credit card, so you took all the money off my credit card.
I'm gonna put it back. Simple.
Like your mother is not my responsibility.
I understand. She's my responsibility.
Okay, so you should have used your money.
Your money is my money. My
No.
money is your money.
That credit card has my
The
name.
way you're gonna get the money deposited. I do it first thing in the morning. Like, what's the problem? What's the issue?
I'm gonna report fraud, and your mother's just gonna have to get evicted.
She gonna get evicted. It's
It
paid.
don't matter. I'm gonna report fraud because you was never supposed to use my credit card.
But I'm putting the money back.
It doesn't matter.
My wife feel like it's a good idea to put her child father on child support when we don't need the money. What you need the money
stuff
for?
that I'm trying to do. Like, I'm trying to, like, go on a vacation and stuff like that. Like, it's stuff that I need. So, like, he needs to pay me something. Give me something.
You do know that child support is not for you, right?
Technically, it is. It is.
Please explain to me how child support is for you.
I need the money to make sure I'm good and make sure my baby good.
Okay, but we don't need the money. Your baby's good. I take care of you and your kids.
Okay? But I still want his money. And I need to make sure that my hair and everything stay done. Simple. So now what? You gonna keep defending him?
It ain't that I'm defending
Keep
him.
on. You gonna be next.
I think it pissed me off the second time.
Man, boy. Trigger alert. Trigger alert. Because boy, the fact that she said there is like, well, you be next. Like, did you
Yeah,
just
that
you really just like who was it past this relationship? You know what I'm saying? Like, you keep playing around, you gonna be next. Okay.
it's funny because I thought when I first watched it, the first video pissed me off more, but it's actually the second one. The second video pisses me off more because this man is a stepfather, right? And I know that's not an easy role to step into. Like I have a stepmother um, who loves me dearly, and helped raise me in very difficult circumstances because my daddy had an affair, and that's how I was born. Hello. And so I know the love you can get from a step parent when they truly love you. And this man has committed himself to her and to her child. And for her to look him blatantly in the face and say, basically, keep going because you will be next.
Yeah, that was tough. And this is why when I talk to a lot of younger men or just men my age period, when they talk to women and they have kids, it's like they kind of stay away from y'all unless the kid's like 18 years or older. You know what I'm saying? They're not kids no more because no man wants to deal with someone else's grown sperm. Just how that's what it is. That's how we look at it. I'm taking care of another man's sperm. That's what it is as a man who talks to a woman who has kids.
But you also can't be ungrateful, right? Listen, I get the whole package deal thing, and I get that. Again, I had a child out of wedlock, and me and her father broke up when she was quite young, so I get the idea of having a package deal. But we don't. The package doesn't have to be picked up,
That's true.
right? Nobody has to pick up your package. And when a man devotes himself, mind, body, spirit, physically, financially, emotionally, mentally, and all of that to you, falls in love with you and wants to take on your child, that is not something to take lightly. And vice versa, man. When a woman comes into your life and takes on your child with another woman, that is not something to take lightly. And therefore, to look at that man dead in his eye and said, "You will be next," as a threat for a man who's clearly a provider and a protector of a child he is not obligated to protect. The only person obligated to protect the children are the people who brought them into this world. I know if you guys have romanticized the whole stepdaddy season, those stepdaddy don't need to give a fuck about them kids. Like, let's just keep it real. Like, the stepmamas don't have to give a fuck about the kids. We can love you, the parent, but it don't mean we actually have to care about those kids. It sounds awful, but it's true. So when you get someone who is so committed and you can look that man in the eye on Blue Ivy and Beyonce's internet and say that, I get it why men don't want to deal with us. And I'm going to put what Mr. has to say because I wanted to bring him in the fold. So Mr. Mister's first video, he violated. I am actually shocked that that's how you started this out. That's an amount of money you need to discuss before. That was my advice number 3. You do it. Even banks red flag your account when they see a 5K transaction. Mister, look at you maturing. Second video. Second video. She violated. I think we can all agree with that. Child support is for the child, not to technically do your hair, not the adult that acts like a child. She absolutely was acting like a child. This is why men should never be stepfathers! Exclamation mark. No good deed goes unpunished with women, especially baby mamas. I should feel hurt by that, but I feel nothing. I'm terrific, so I ain't worried. But ladies, this is the men are speaking. Twins, just keep speaking.
Yeah. So, advice number 5. Advice number 5. Yeah, there's no day and tips tonight. We're giving the advice as we hope you take a note, rewind the video. But advice number 5, and it's for the fellas who's planning to be a stepfather. It's very important to ask those questions about the ex,
Mm-hmm.
especially the ex that has a child, right? Of course, the one there's an ex, but there's a child involved. So now you're a stepdad, right? You need to ask those certain questions. You know, is he part of the child's life? Why is he a part of the child's life? Is he paying child support? You know, all those questions you need to ask, because what makes you different from him? Well, I could tell you what makes you different between your ex and now. She gave him a baby. She didn't give you one. So that's the moment right there. So clearly she loved that dude at one point. Anytime a woman want to talk about their ex, oh, he ain't this, he ain't that. Whoa. I don't want to hear that. Because at one point you loved him. And you loved him so much you gave him a baby. So we ain't gonna talk about how bad he is. People do change, stuff happens, but I get it. But you gave him a baby. So he ain't that bad. And I'm pretty sure if I talk to him, he has stories about you. But anyway, you should be listening on how she handles and deal with that guy. Is he on child support? And okay. And how much money? Like, ask her, how much money are you getting? Okay, great. Now start paying attention. How she manage her money? Because that's gonna let you know what type of person she is. If she, like you said, she trying to get her hair done, trying to get, look good and dress this, and you never hear nothing about the kids. And hell, if you're around the kid, you can look at the kid. He walk around, snotty nose, got Payless shoes on. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna let you know what type of woman she is, fellas. You have to take that. You have to step away from the beauty and step away from the cat and just pay attention to how is she, because you could be next. And there's some women like that who just keep getting a new dude pregnant, keep getting a check. A child turn 18. Sorry, she get pregnant again, get another man for 18 years. I'm just saying. I'll land my plan. And that was advice number 5.
Okay. Advice number 6 with respect to before the I do's. It actually is going to kind of go with advice number 1. We're going to get back to what are the important things in your life that you need someone to align with. Like, seriously. So we talked about values in number 1, but there are going to be certain things that are just deal breakers. Like, and I don't want you to ignore the deal breakers, because guess what? Those 2 marriages, some big deal breakers were definitely ignored. And I'm not talking about height. Like, I'm not talking about that superficial thing, even though I'm superficial. But I'm not talking about, hey, I'm a height. I'm talking about maybe politics. If you're a Trump supporter, not just a Republican, and they are a Democrat, you always need to talk about, are you aligned? If they are pro rights and you're pro choice, like, there are some fundamental things that you need to talk about. How do you want to raise the children? Is religion part of this? Is it not? If you're different religions, what religion? How do you want to school the children? How do you want to discipline the children? How do you deal with family being a part of your relationship? I mean, Twin talks about the fact that, his mother-in-law lived with him for 10 years, but even though she lived with you, it doesn't mean she had a right to be in your business. You were giving her a roof, not a front row seat to your marriage. That's a whole different thing. So even talking about this, when do we go to our family? When we do not go to our family, like, having those types of conversations, like finding out that your spouse is supporting their family members. How does that work if they're supporting their family members? How will that work when you get married? Can you be honest with them and say, hey, you know what? I think that's great and you're amazing for doing that. But are you open to shifting that when we get married? Because there's a lot of money leaving our house that respectfully we can be able to do X, Y, and Z to be able to better out the people that you're now doing. If you're like, nah, I'm good, this is just how it's going to be, and you're just like, that's not going to work. I mean, these are fundamental, important things that important. Like, I don't want a man to just look at my 34 double Ds, my small waist and big ass. Like, I don't want that. I want him to ask me hard questions that I am forced to answer to determine if we're going to do this forever thing. And I think we're skipping over a lot of this. And I feel like even us older people who should know better, because we're getting lonely. Like I think the young people sometimes are doing this. The young people these days, some of them when they're serious, they do not play. But I feel like some of us older 40s folks now are skipping over those questions because we're just so happy, especially a lot of us women, we're just so happy that somebody has found us that we're not asking the hard gut wrenching questions. And listen, I would rather fail fast in a relationship. I would rather fail fast. Get in there, try the thing, figure it out, and walk away 3 to 6 months, no harm, no foul. Then investing 3 to 6 years that turn into 10 years, that turn into 15 years, because that time can go forever. So I'd rather know everything up front and it's like, yeah, we're good, get out, than go through a whole motions. Because again, a bad marriage can ruin your life. I just went on a bit of a rant, but that was unfair.
No, I
I felt
understand.
that one to my core.
I understand. This is we dropping them gems, giving the knowledge out. Go ahead, and nothing wrong with that.
I felt that one. I'm just like I felt that one to my core because these conversations, like, I think the thing about it is like these are things that keep popping up on Beyonce and Blue Ivy's internet. Like these two videos are not isolated. If Twins and I could literally just put up video after video after video and fill this entire show with just videos of these embarrassing moments, first of all, that should have been left in your home. I will never listen, dear future husband. I may have this show, but I would never put our business on front street like that. I would never. I would never record something that's supposed to be a private moment and put it on the public internet. Like that is the biggest disrespect possible. I don't need the entire world into our relationship like that. Like that is crazy. I
Yeah,
digress.
I think now in this era that we're in, a lot of people are trying to do things to go viral, and so they for some reason they make they post these intimate conversations on the world for everybody to see and judge. Like me, I'm a very private person. I had plenty of arguments through my marriage. No one would know. Damn sure we ain't social media will know, but also I'm very private. I don't need my business living these four walls. Whatever the screen we have in the house stays in our house between me and you. Because at the end of the day, I mean, we can get into it and you telling your mom, your sister, whoever. Now they they feel a certain way about me. But after what happened is me and you work it out, right? We're good, but they don't. So, we worked through what we were dealing with. Now you told them what's going on. They don't like me now because I can't believe she's still with him. He did this, he did that, or she did that and she did this. Why are you still with her? Keep your personal advice number 7. Keep your personal business inside your four walls. It's just that simple. If you want to have a conversation with somebody, you reach out to another married couple, a pastor, counselor. Not your single girlfriend who ain't got no dude, or your single guy who ain't got no woman. No, you go to another married couple and had this conversation. And technically, like I said, some of these things that's going on should have been conversation prior to the action. Prior to the dude spending money, you should have a conversation. Prior to the dude talking to the girl who has a child, that should have been a conversation with his friend. Hey man, she got a killer already and child support. Like these conversations you need to have. Cause what are you gonna do when she put you on child support? Now you're gonna be on this Blue Ivy web talking about these women ain't this. No, bro. The one you picked. Unfortunately, on the second video, I'm gonna hold him accountable.
100%.
Yeah, just like I hold women accountable who get pregnant by dudes who have multiple kids already. I'm gonna hold this dude like accountable for messing with a woman who has a dude already on child support, and not, what I'm saying, that's a red flag for you. You should find out why he's on child support. And I mean, based on her lifestyle, I need my hair done. Like he's already funding her lifestyle already. and clearly it's not enough. She wants more, and that's another problem. But yes, the second video, I'm holding you accountable. I'm done.
And I love that you said that, because and this is where I question the men on the show, and I always say, you picked us though, right? You picked us, like you vetted us, and then you said, yeah, that's the one. I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna get this ring, and I'm gonna make her the one. Now to the women, here is the thing, and I'm going to go. What are we in? Advice number 8. I'm gonna talk to the ladies in terms of advice number 8. Where are you emotionally before you get married? I think that's an important question. I think we often get so caught up in the excitement of the I do, the excitement of the wedding, the excitement of being a wife, but we actually don't question ourselves about where are we emotionally, and do we have the adequate emotions to deal with the ups and downs that come with marriage? Because men get financially ruined in divorce, women get emotionally ruined in divorce. 99.9% of the time, that's how it goes. There isn't a large percentage of women out there paying alimony. It doesn't happen. You hear about the rare ones in the news, and these women are generally millionaires. But the average six-figure income woman isn't paying a man any kind of spousal support or alimony or any of that. So the emotional impact and the emotional toll on divorce comes to us women. Therefore, the question you need to ask yourself before you even get into the marriage is, where am I emotionally? Am I in a position that, despite how much I love this man, am I in a position I need to be able to emotionally handle the ups and downs of marriage? Because again, it's like this. And sometimes you're steady, you're going along, but sometimes it's like this and then it drops, right? And some of us are not adequately prepared for that, because to Twin's earlier point, we never saw a healthy marriage. We never had a healthy relationship with a man, aka our father, right? We never had that. And so we're going into these marriages not adequately prepared for a relationship with a man that you said forever to. Fuck all the, like, let's just talk, fuck all the ring and the happiness and the jumping up and down and all of that. Are you adequately ready to deal with potentially the ups and downs of the marriage, and the ups and downs that your husband might have in that marriage? Nobody stays the same in a marriage. You are not going to, Twins will tell you he was married for 14 years. He didn't stay the same, nor did his wife. They change. Sometimes the changes are amazing. Sometimes the changes are not that great. Are you adequately prepared to go through everything before you say I do? And I know people are thinking, you shouldn't be thinking about the bad part. You should be thinking, no, because when you open a business, you have to prepare yourself so it doesn't get closed.
Message. Keep cooking. I'm sorry. Keep cooking. Keep going. Keep cooking. Let's go.
But there's this fairy tale and this fantasy women, and then we literally fuck ourselves in the end of it, because when the heartbreak comes, or the divorce comes, and anything, because whether we file or the man files, we still get hurt. We're still walking away hurt. We're still trying to figure, we have to pick up the pieces of our life. We see all these women who are crying on the tickety talk because I thought the divorce was going to be great, and now I'm lonely, and my husband's out there living his best life. Because here's the thing, money can be made back. Hearts can't necessarily be mended.
Message.
That's what I'm going to say about advice number 8. I'm pretty sure that's where we're at. Go on.
Message. No lies there. Living the best life. Yeah. Losing the money, it's tough for a minute, but afterwards, it's like, I can make it back. But my heart ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, my heart ain't damaged. Like, no, the other person may be.
These are and these are critical things, and we cannot approach a mature thing as marriage in an immature way. And I think in many ways, again, and especially as women, we get excited. I cannot wait to come on the show and say that I'm engaged and pop out a ring. Right? Like I actually miss wearing the ring I used to wear on the show. It's gone bye bye. But I can't wait to be able to pop out a ring. But if I'm popping out a ring, it's because me and Mr. Men have had all of the important, like everything. And are you bearing your soul to that person? If you are unable to bear your soul to that person, they're probably not the person to you. I don't want to have to fear rejection from the person I'm saying that I want to do life with. That's tough. And you should be able to bear your soul to your forever person. They should be seeing you through it all, through the everything. When you wash it all away, this is who I am. Here's my effed up finances. I'm trying to figure out my relationship with my father or my mother. You know what I'm saying? Like I have all this stuff. I am not where I want to be career wise. And you should be able to kind of say, and have that moment. And they love you anyway. If I can't be as vulnerable as I need to be in a relationship before I say I do, what would I ever think that I can be vulnerable once I'm in it? You can't. So trust me, when I pop out with that ring, it's trust me because he's seeing all sides of me, especially the imperfect side of me. Because I can present this all day and it looks great. But what about when all of this is washed away and he's got to see me go through those meltdowns of life and every facet? A man that makes me feel safe in those moments is a man that I will marry. Because I'm not going through that heartbreak. I'll take the money loss before I take the heartbreak. I've lost and made money back. That's a lot easier than that heartbreak, and I'm not about to do that. But I digress. I just twin for Ellen like playing twins as we get ready to start wrapping up the show. Mister, we're going to ask you for a dating tip since we've been giving advice. We're actually going to ask you. Yes, you've not been married. We will ask you for a dating tip or a something to consider before you get married. We're going to change it up a bit, Mister. So a tip that people need to consider before they get married. That's the tip we're doing tonight. But going back to twins.
Yeah, that's definitely, I mean, I think we tackled everything on both videos. I really say, I don't know what more to say at this point. I mean, when you need to have these conversations on the good and the bad. You know what I'm saying? So anyone will sit there and be like, "Oh, you shouldn't speak or think negative." No, have a conversation, or you'll be getting blindsided and your life will be turned upside down because you thought everything would be good. No, I tell the young fellas I talk to now, just because you put a ring on her finger, right, doesn't mean she's gonna change afterwards. The same person she is when you get the ring, it's gonna be the same person she is, and then it's gonna be worse.
Worse. It actually gets worse. But I'm going to tell you, fellas. Here's the secret: we do get worse. We don't have an incentive to get better. You gave us everything we wanted with the ring and the I do. We don't have an incentive to get better. The incentive to get better is to get the ring. And if I'm already bad when you put the ring on my finger, I now don't have an incentive to get better. It's like again with children. Let me give you the secret. Women are like children. We really are. And I'm speaking as a daddy's girl and a very spoiled brat. We are very much like children. If you have children, you do not give them their allowance before they do the chores. You give it to them after the chores. You give them the list of chores. You might put it on the fridge and you mark them off maybe throughout the week. And then on maybe Saturday or Sunday, whatever it is, they get their allowance. What would happen if you gave your children the allowance before they did the chores?
They're not going to do chores, or they'll be lazy and slack at doing it. Just that simple. Because they already
Because
got
they're not incentivized.
right. They already got what they want. So what's going to make them do it now? You know what I'm saying? They got what they wanted, and then they'll do a half-ass job. So it's the same thing when you put that ring on her. So,
Sorry,
and
ladies, I had to tell the truth. We are truth tellers on the show. But yeah, I wouldn't change. You've given me no reason to. You said you're accepting. Remember, I just said it. You're accepting of everything that comes with me. And if being a not so great person is what you just accepted, why would I stop being that? You said that that's the person that you love.
right, and then and honestly, fellas, it's like huh, got him. Now he ain't going nowhere because as anyone who's
So culture.
as anyone who has ever ran a business, it's very difficult to dissolve a business just like
That
that,
that
especially
that.
if you're in the business with multiple people. Now, if it's just you by yourself, it's different. But you're in business with business partners, other people, you got to split assets, you got to do this, you got to dissolve it. It is not that easy.
At
So,
all.
once she gets that ring, got him. And and a little off topic, but I didn't have this problem in my marriage, but I know a lot of guys had it in the marriage. Once they got the ring on the finger, the sex goes down.
Oh, I'm
It
so
doesn't go
sorry
up.
about that, guys.
Once again,
I'm sorry,
that
guys.
wasn't my problem with my situation. But
No, no, not you. The other guys.
no,
We're
no, no,
sorry,
no, no, no.
guys.
I'm
So
just saying
sorry.
it. Yeah, I'm just saying that
Yeah,
overall. I'm like, this is
sorry,
not
guys.
just a no. This is if you do a survey with multiple men across the whole world, they have the same story. So, fellas, I talk to the fellas. So it's very important you had these conversations. You don't want to be the guy who gets the BJ only on Father's Day, your birthday. I think that's it. Don't be that guy. And,
That is sad. That is so
sorry,
sad.
it may be anniversary.
Okay.
Hold
That's
on, and then
awful.
Valentine's Day. So that's 4 times. Don't be that guy because I know guys that had that problem. I'm like, what? That's like part of the pre. You know what? I'm gonna stop right there. I'm done.
No, but you make a good point, and I think we'll end that. That is a conversation that needs to be had, right? Sex is important. Like let's not pretend that it's not. Sexual compatibility is important, and if I want it twice a day and he can barely get it up, we are not sexually compatible. Period. Point blank. Like let's really have that conversation. Let's talk about expectations in marriage because there is a lot of men, and I'm sorry, men that are absolutely going through that. Well, did you talk about it before you got married? Here is, I love you, babe, but for me, I need sex this many times a day. How much do you need times a day to go through it? And listen, I get as women, we're going to go through menopause and perimenopause, and we can go through all the things that we go through with our bodies. But at the end of the day, barring those things, this is a critical conversation to have. Fellatio, that's a critical conversation. If you're with a man who never goes down and you're with a woman who never gives head and that's what you've been accustomed to and that's what you like and that's what you need to get your off, then that's not compatibility. So when we're talking about having conversations, because you can have sex and still not sexually be compatible. People are having sex right now that are not sexually compatible because they're not talking about the other person's needs, wants, and desires. And I should be able to say, honey, I need, want, and desire this. He should be able to do the same. And if we are aligned, amazing and beautiful. But if we are misaligned, we probably should go separate ways. Because I don't want no man saying, I do, and all I do is say, I don't. I don't want, I'm tired.
Message.
what I'm saying. So
Listen,
we have gotten.
this is just
Go
listen,
ahead.
this is just giving you gems that we learn on our journeys of being married and being around married people. We want
That part.
couples to survive and be together and raise kids and XYZ. We're not the podcast that's trying to separate each other. We're providing solutions so we can come together and be as one together, because we don't have the grandparents or the elders, the people we can go to is going to give us the real deal. I mean, if you talk to any, our older generation, they're just stubborn. All right, you just got to work through it. Like they don't want to give you the tea. They don't want to say. They don't want to have these in-depth, intimate conversation that we're having right now on this Good Wild Web. The difference between us and them is that we still want to get married again, right?
That part.
And then when I get married again, it's gonna be the best thing in the world because I already been through it once. I know what I didn't do or didn't do right.
Amen.
Next time around, it's gonna be successful.
Amen. Say it again. That's what I'm talking about. So, when you're coming here, come here with an open mind. Like Twin said, we are really trying to help. That's why we even do the dating tips and everything at the end, is because we want to help. And so we have been giving you advice all night. And so we're actually going to have one of our loyal viewers, Mr. give his advice for the night. Before getting married, create a basic code of conduct of how the two of you handle conflict in a healthy, peaceful, mature way. Disagreements are inevitable, and this is one of the most important bases you need to cover. I'm going to let that sit there so people can read that and absorb that, because that is so true. We're going to go back to companies for a second. I'm going to let Twins talk right after this, but the same way we talked about when you open a company, you actually create codes of conduct in a company. You have standard operating procedures in a company. It's called SOPs. You create all of that in a company because it is a partnership, and there's certain rules that you must follow in order to have a successful partnership. That's what this code of conduct is in marriage. Twins.
What he wrote right there, ladies and gentlemen, you might want to screenshot that. You might want to write that down. That is so key. That's something I didn't do in my first marriage. We didn't have a code of conduct or how to handle a conflict in a healthy and peaceful and respectful way. When it got heated, it just got heated, and what was said was just said, and there was never no follow-up. I'm sorry, apologies, or nothing. We just kept it moving. This is very important. This might be one of the most important things, period. Regardless of even in a marriage. If you're in a relationship with somebody, you need to have this code of conduct, because as two people who are individuals are coming together to be one. You think one way, she thinks one way, and we have to touch together and come to a resolution together. This is so key. I ain't got nothing else to say. Drop the mic.
Me either. That's why I left it up there. That is critical. I'm just going to add to Twins' point. This should just be in a relationship. And thank you, Mr. for that, because I absolutely asked you before they get married. But before you even get into a relationship, you should have a code of conduct, because that will lead to you being able to get married and have a healthy marriage, which we hope for everybody that partakes in our show and watches our show. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. We thank you. We thank you for joining us. Again, please like, share, subscribe. Thank you, Monica, for coming back. We need more ladies. Monica, I want to have a women's panel. So if you're interested and you're still around, Monica, email me at fyftheshow@gmail.com. I want to start having healthy relationships with men and women. I want to have a men's panel by themselves, me and the men, and then a women's panel, Twins and the women, and then bringing men and women together to really have healthy conversations, to move the conversations forward for Black relationships, because Black love is what we want for all 2025, 2026, and years to come. So let's do it. And again, my book, Love Rules, will be out April the 1st. So look out for my book, Love Rules. I will be sharing the book cover with all of you soon. I have put a lot of heart into this new 6-book series, so I hope you support and you will enjoy it when you read it. So that is it. That is all. Thank you. Good night. Twins, any final words?
April 1st, y'all. Go get the book. April 1st.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mr. and all of you for joining us. That's it. Good night. Goodbye.
Good night, y'all.